Great Debaters Contest is brought to you by Safaricom M-Pesa.
It's another gorgeous day here in sunny Mombasa, and we are here to entertain and inform you with the Great Debaters Contest. I am your host, Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Yombok. We have War Girls versus Ribe Boys. Their motion is students should be allowed to operate mobile accounts as part of developing a cashless economy. Who will be the victor?
We'll go straight to the debaters now. First proposer, you have 3 minutes.
I've been thinking of a better Kenya. A better tomorrow where students will be allowed to operate mobile accounts as a way of developing a cashless economy. Sophia Mzungu, War Girls High School. What is a cashless economy? A cashless economy is a situation whereby there is little or less cash flow, and therefore purchases and transactions are made through the use of electronic channels. And who is a student? A student is anyone who acquires knowledge on a certain academic subject. And what are mobile accounts? Mobile accounts is whereby we use cellular devices for online tasking. Did you know that you can acquire knowledge while at home? Did you also know that you can apply for a course at Harvard University while in Kenya? Well, this has been made possible through the use of the open distance learning, whereby it takes place in Kenya and in our local universities like the University of Nairobi and Kenyatta University. Imagine of a society that encourages e-banking. E-banking will allow students all over the country to acquire knowledge, and this will be one way of promoting literacy. Don't you think so? Something else. Imagine you are relaxed at home and you can apply for a course that you pay online. Imagine that. Just look at the advantages that we have through e-banking and e-learning. You can buy a book online and read it, unlike going and purchasing the book on a normal bookshop. This will in turn save in time and transport cost, which is very convenient. Something else, a cashless society will promote responsibility. It will empower responsibility. If students are allowed to use mobile accounts, then we learn to be responsible in that we can manage our finances, and in turn we can avoid overspending. Thank you very much.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to give us your opening statements.
Some of the parents' meager earnings can be stretched to the limit. The existence of mobile accounts among students may worsen the situation. It is to my belief that students are very enthusiastic individuals with genuine interest in making rapid economic shifts. But we really have to ask ourselves, are students 100% responsible? High cost of operation to initiate mobile accounts. Most students come from very humble background where the bone of contention for most parents is to pay for their school fees, and most students do not have a stable source of income. We have to bear in mind that acquiring a mobile phone is an expense. Getting the SIM card is also an expense. What about the transaction fees, ladies and gentlemen? Don't we know that those are expenses? It's crystal clear that operating mobile accounts for students is an expense. Expensive. Irresponsibility among students. Some students are very irresponsible. We have had cases where students have used their parents' ID to open mobile accounts, and they end up taking loans which they fail to pay, and the parents are irresponsible. Furthermore, some students in possession of mobile phones may not only operate mobile accounts, they may also view or access the pornography, dating sites. In fact, recently, we've had a case, a Kenyan woman who was lured into going to USA, in specific Texas, where she was sexually harassed. So, ladies and gentlemen, should we allow the students to operate these mobile accounts with such facts? The students shall be subjected as the passive beneficiaries of the eventual economic loss. The students shall be subjected to they are going to be the beneficiaries of the eventual moral decay. As a result, I appeal to the proposers to join we opposers if the society is to remain a profitable one. Thank you.
We'll now hear rebuttals, beginning with the proposers. You have 3 minutes.
My name is Uba Athman. I'm here to propose the motion that states students should be allowed to operate mobile account as part of developing a cashless economy. Before I do that, I could first disagree with my fellow opposer when he say mobile accounts are costly. Not all mobile accounts are expensive. For example, Lipana, M-Pesa, you're not charged when you use this operation. Some of them are just like that. Okay, I have come to realize that without education, the world cannot move. Literacy is what is needed for the world to move. That is why an organization like ISEC encourages exchange of program internationally. And it also focuses on bringing up or empowering young people so they can make a positive impact on the society. When some of our students from local universities like Kenyatta universities, Moi universities go to such countries like Germany, France, or South Africa, they will need to make payment for their personal expenses. Mobile account will help them do such transaction. So many times, even on national television, we've heard of people being caught with fake notes. So many of you have come across fake notes. They're also displayed maybe on banks, supermarket, or shops. Has any one of you ever seen a fake credit or debit being displayed anywhere? It is then wise for students to be allowed to use mobile account so that they can minimize the use of fake currencies. Thank you.
Opposition will hear your cross-examination. You also have 3 minutes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I would like first to answer the question that my opponent has offered, that not all mobile accounts are inexpensive. Mind you, ladies and gentlemen, where in this world will you find anything for free? Obviously not. Therefore, I urge you that you should support us in this motion. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Michael Fondo from the Ribe Boys High School. Ladies and gentlemen, are we really aware of the circumstances we are putting our students into by allowing them to be in possession of mobile accounts? You will bear me witness that my opponents are misleading our students. Now let me convince you why. How many of you have never received fake text messages stating that you've won some money? Don't we know cases of people that have subscribed in these scams? Seriously, are we not aware of the warnings we have received from our mobile service providers about conmen? Seriously, are we not really making innocent students fall prey to malicious conmen just in the name of maintaining a cashless economy? Now, ladies and gentlemen, that will be your food for thought. Moving on to my second point, ladies and gentlemen, mobile accounts are not security proof. Seriously, the mobile accounts can be hacked. Now, at this rate, ladies and gentlemen, haven't you heard about hacking? Seriously, the amount of money being hacked, basing on the electoral money and on the liquid money, it is now proven that the electoral money is stolen, most of it is stolen, rather than the cashless money. If somebody gets an access to your account or an access to a bank account, and this guy rips over millions of shillings in that account, and whether somebody comes to you or into your house and steal 5,000 shillings, whom has benefited most? Now, we are putting our students into a more risky area. Therefore, you should understand that it only takes a microsecond for an IT savvy to steal millions of shillings. If my concerns reads well, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, it is that in the year 1985, the New York Bank lost a whopping $22 billion as a result of hacking. Now, if we promote the use of mobile accounts, aren't we going to make our country fall into poverty? Because our students even do not have a very supportive way they do not have a very supportive way to form a living. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to support us in this motion. Thank you.
Take part in the M Challenge by sending your short song, rap or poem about Safaricom M-Pesa on WhatsApp, and you could win 1,000 shillings in Safaricom airtime.
The audience has posed questions to the teams on stage. The proposers have been challenged. Are they not aware that cashless forms of banking, such as debit and credit cards, can also be manipulated, and there is credit card and debit card fraud? And the opposition have been challenged as to why they are discrediting the convenience of cashless systems. We'll have them respond to the questions now. Proposer number 3, you have 3 minutes.
People try to assume us rather than understand us. They try and sum us up in simple words, like society really needs to sort itself out. But before that, I would like to answer the question that Jacinta just posed. Okay, you know computer studies, right? And IT is developing, so it's not easy. Why go all the process to get a fake card, whereby you know that the computer is going to recognize it? Because it's not easy. The world is advancing technologically. Why shouldn't we? In fact, the first world countries, they no longer use money transactions. Think of a country like the United States of America, Canada, and United Kingdom, whereby they have allowed their students to operate mobile accounts as part of developing their cashless economy. Why shouldn't we? Not only that, in Denmark, there's a special company called the rebuttal, which processes and generates special cards called the Dankort. The Dankort cards act as debit cards, whereby you can use that card to purchase a street newspaper. Imagine that, purchasing a street newspaper with a card. Don't you see you're moving to a Vision 2030? My name is Juhra Chaka, and I'm proposing the motion that states students should be allowed to operate mobile accounts as part of developing a cashless economy. The reason as to why we should allow students to operate mobile accounts is because they help in curbing immorality, illicit activities in the society, like drug dealing. So far, like drug dealing need cash. It is in the public domain that drug dealing is a pain in the neck. We've tried to deal with it, but if we embrace the cashless economy, we're going to do it. Take a case whereby a student is a drug peddler. He or she traffics drugs. Obviously, they're expected to be paid for the drug they've trafficked. And then any drug peddler will prefer to remain anonymous rather than be publicized. So they won't be able to transfer or transact huge sums amounts of money so that they won't raise suspicion to the people in charge. Secondly, promote development. If we allow students to operate mobile accounts as part of developing a cashless economy, don't you think it will develop our country? That was a thought-provoking question. 1 second was enough for you to answer that. Of course it will. Before we embrace the cashless economy, good infrastructure should definitely be put in place to support this. Infrastructures like electricity and network. A stable network whereby will not have network failure. Finally, it helps in acquisition of knowledge. If we embrace this, take of a country whereby Zimbabwe, it is the first country that It is the first country in Africa which is soon going to be cashless. Because of its low value currency, they have allowed their students to operate mobile accounts as part of developing their cashless economy. When we allow students to operate these mobile accounts, so far we know that students are the leaders and citizens of tomorrow. If we allow them, we are enhancing their IT skills, whereby they'll be able to develop our Kenya and we'll be able to see our Vision 2030. Zuhra Taka, thank you very much.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to respond to the audience.
Wow, Francis, seems you're a mind reader, because you have just given me my point. Like, let me get this clear, okay? According to the International Journal and Scientific Research of 10th October 2014, it has been found that service providers mostly or constantly interrupt their services in order to update their databases. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Mwambire Balozi, representing the Ribe boys. Well, every Tom, Dick, and Harry in here clearly knows of the M-Pesa delays. Who doesn't know about that? Take this example. You are a student, maybe, going to the supermarket. You want to go and purchase some things, some commodities. Then you go there, take a trolley, do all the stuff. Then, while you want to pay, you get a notification that there's a delay. Schools have rules. They have rules. Institutions have rules. And the rule, the best rule, is time. Well, man cannot live with bread alone. Some transactions actually simply require cash. Go to a shop where the shopkeeper doesn't have an account. Are you going to show that shopkeeper a phone and say, I have some money, man, I have some money in my phone? You look like a lunatic, ladies and gentlemen. Mobile services are subject of operation disruptions, and students need commodities. And they say, a good banker, like good tea, can only be appreciated when they are in hot water. One of my fellow opposers has just told you that students can not only use the phones for the mobile account, but also use them for pornographic materials and what have you. I can also say that there are exam irregularities. If we allow them to have mobile accounts, it's obvious that you're going to allow them to have phones. So, are we promoting a cashless economy, or are we deteriorating the economy? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll now hear closing statements. Proposition, you have 1 minute.
Zura Taka from our girls back again. My dear, before I start, mind you, there's no Tom, Dick, and Harry in here. And I would like to tell you one thing. From the moment we are born, people tell us the world is like this, like that, this way, that way. But it is natural that for a period of time we end up believing what we are told. But we should soon push these ideas aside and discover our own living reality. Just as you said, a good banker does whatever, natural stupidity, artificial intelligence is no match for natural stupidity. We are trying to develop. We are trying to put students in our country so that we could develop. Not only that, you have just said that liquid cash, right? Online shopping at the same time, it saves time that allows you to transact money and pay bills in time and instantly. So give for a country whereby, like Zimbabwe, its value is of low currency. So you work with money and then you don't expect someone to steal. We want to develop, okay? If Zimbabwe can do it, who are we not to? Johra Taka, thank you.
Opposition, you have a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, even though there are 1.5 billion computers in the internet and 4.5 billion people using the mobile phones, currently no significant operation system supporting the least amount of work for the biggest gain. What am I saying, ladies and gentlemen? Hackers. She's talking of Zimbabwe. Well, we all know Zimbabwe is a very bad example of an African nation. Why? Their economy is going down, isn't it? Let us not talk about Zimbabwe. Let us talk about our case here in Kenya. Talk of those people who are computer geniuses. Go to the Nairobi University. There are people who can make a computer. If you can make a computer, then I know and I believe that you can hack into one as well. That bank some money can be taken unto you very easily, rather than somebody coming and strangle you to take that 5,000 shilling in your pocket. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
One of the things that you do as a first speaker, and this goes to both sides, is that you deconstruct the motion. And deconstructing the motion means that you break it down. You break down the motion by defining various terms that are pertinent to the motion. For example, when you're talking about students, you needed to have given us an age bracket that you're talking about, so that then we situate your debate within a particular context. And this goes for the first two speakers on both sides. What does it mean to operate? What's a mobile account? And what is a cashless economy? So once you help us understand what those terms are with respect to your motion, then we can follow through. And that was missing, on both sides. And so it then leaves us room to fill in the gaps with whatever you're saying as you move on, which could work to your disadvantage. And it actually did for the two teams. In general, what I'm saying is that you did not spend a lot of time, you did not delve deep into the motion to be able to bring it out. And at the end of a motion, as a panel of judges, we are supposed to be swayed either by the opposers or the proposers. And as we sit right now, we do not know whether students should be allowed to operate mobile accounts as part of developing a cashless economy.
The judges awarded War Girls High School with 60%. Please give them a round of applause. They awarded their opponents, Ribe Boys, with the same, a 60%, which makes this debate a tie. Please give both teams on stage a hand.
We appreciate the two teams for such a spirited effort, and we'd like to thank our sponsors, Safaricom M-Pesa and KBC Channel 1, and urge members of the audience and also those back home, follow us on Twitter at Great Debaters EA and all our other social media platforms. I am Austin Nyambok.
And I am Mariam Bishar. We'll see you next time.
The Great Debaters Contest was brought to you by Safaricom M-Pesa.